What's going on? Move the mouse here, back in City Skylines with a brand new build. Sunset Harbor's out, and I started a live Let's Build series last week that I'll be continuing. But I also wanted to do a return to the regular Let's Play and just do a build and kind of talk about it. Post those videos as often as I can. I'm shooting for Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, but schedule's been a little crazy lately. So we're using the Swamplands map from the DLC. Nice thing about this, it has all natural resources and all connections. It's not my favorite looking map, but I want to make sure that we're able to test all the different mechanics, all the different connections and hubs and things like that. So this one gives us a good way to do that. Sunset Harbor came out last Thursday, March 26th for PlayStation, Xbox, and PC at the same time. First time they've actually been able to do that, where those three platforms released in the same day. So that was exciting for console players. Let's get a look at our landscape real quick. We'll just do a quick kind of pan around. And there's definitely some fun that we can have here with this river kind of swooping through the map, but we'll kind of have to be careful about our water flows and where we're dumping bad water. We can dump it into the ground now. That's a new feature. But let's go ahead and get our city started. And it looks like the highway can kind of end there. I don't think I need to do a roundabout. I think we can kind of carry this into the city and have exits off of here. So we'll build one little segment of road, which unlocks other roads for us, like one-ways. And I want to bring this down at least 30, maybe 40 units. So the highway can kind of end there. And then just to keep things nice and parallel, let's go from there and then, whoops, change direction. I don't know if I mentioned the name of the town is Swampscott, which may look a little daunting to those of you that aren't from New England. That's actually a town in Massachusetts name. We get weird up here with the names. So for right now, we're going to carry this through, right? And we're going to have the occasional intersection for now. I don't want to build like I don't want to build the whole intersection just yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to connect a straight road through here. Let's think about this for a minute. Do we want to use something larger? Probably. Yeah, let's do 4-lane, and then that way, let's see what that does. We're going to have some stoplights there. This intersection is going to be problematic. But this will be kind of our main strip, our main street, if you will, through this area. And we can think about extending or converting that into an exit later. We won't build too close. I'm going to bring this down to there, maybe. We'll have our first little residential pocket up that way. We can bring maybe industrial over the highway. And we won't zone up that way. So let's get some neighborhoods in here. We'll come away from the intersection a bit, so that is processing just the traffic it really needs to. We go, what, 12? Coming off a 4-lane road will give us that room for a pedestrian path. We can tuck in behind there. And then we can go 11 units when we're connecting two smaller roads. And I'm going to come out one more, so that we've got a little bit of zoning before we get up to the waterfront there. And we'll extend this down, I don't know, right about there. That works. A little bit of grid work is not necessarily a bad thing, especially where we're first laying out our town. But we'll definitely get away from that as we get over to the edges and start to fill things in a little bit better. Let's come over here. I want to try and stay above 50,000. I don't think it's going to happen before I finish my roads. What did I do over here? 2, 3. So we'll come there for our industrial area, or what will be in our industrial area. And let's just, we'll come to right there. And then we'll fill in these without pedestrian paths as tight as we can. I think that should work. I think that'll do the trick. I hate it when I do that. I like my roads to snap out to the same length. Sometimes that'll mess the nodes up. Costs money, but it makes me feel better. So let's do that. We'll get some of the basics in here first. Early on, we're not presented with really much different in terms of power with Sunset Harbor. We do have some different things we can do with water, though. Is there no real good... There's no real good wind power on the map. Can't build on water, those. And we're only getting about 4 or 5 units of power. This is going to cost a lot more money, but it will do the trick. So let's do that. Actually, let me see. How big is that pollution bubble? It's pretty close to the water, but not on top of it, so we should be good there. Now, we haven't unlocked the new water towers. That's something that comes with the Sunset Harbor DLC. It's just different looking, a little bit larger, more water production. And we don't need to worry about the drainage that much on this map, but there is a new option on that front too. So ordinarily we would take water or eco water drains and just dump the water into the ground. I'm sorry, into the water. Now we can dump it into the ground with the inland and eco inland water treatment plants, and then the advanced versions of those do an even better job. So they pollute a little and cause noise pollution. The advanced version pollutes a little less and causes a little bit more noise pollution in the process. But what this can do is this can actually let us drain the sewage right into the ground. But we've got to be careful kind of where we're doing that to make sure we're not polluting things like water or ground that we didn't intend to. So I think we're going to end up having multiple coal power plants probably on that block. So let me do this. How does this fit sideways on the block? A little bit of wasted space, tiny bit. That's a little better. At least it'll let us zone on the other side a bit. And then we just need to worry about water intake for now. So how's my water flow? Comes all the way around. So that's okay. All right. Well, we can do that. We don't have to run... We'll get it just far enough away where it's not being polluted, hopefully. And then we'll get that hooked in to here. Then I'm going to build a grid based off of this road. That will hopefully allow us to cover just about everything. $440 worth of pipe. Probably heard me say it before. For those of you that are new around here, maybe building your first city and stumbled upon this series, first of all, thank you for stumbling this way. But I'll try and give you some tips and tricks as I kind of go through. But $440 worth of pipe between two parallel pipes gives you that perfect little bit of overlap if you're looking to cover just as much as you have to without spending too much money. I did a little bit of redundancy here by not running this middle pipe kind of up the side in the first place. That would have covered this side, but that's okay. Everybody there is covered, so let's just extend this down. What do we got? $1,500 left. That's not too bad. Let's make sure this street's covered. So we've got power, we've got electricity. Now we just need to tell people where to move in. And for residents, we're going to have them move into these back neighborhoods first. For commercial, let's use the selection tool. And we'll fill in all the way down here. That works. And we're going to have to overwrite some businesses as we move some roads in through here, but that will be plenty for commercial. And then we can do... Maybe we'll do industrial all the way back here. And do one more block of commercial on this side. It might be okay. You're going to get restaurants and things like that sitting on polluted ground, but commercial doesn't mind as much as residents do. So before we start, let's go into economy and budget. This whole time I've been on pause. Those of you that have been here before know this trick. But don't let the game play until you're ready to start moving people in. Because if it's playing, you're spending money to upkeep all those things we just built. The roads, the pipes, the power lines, whatever it might be. Costs a little bit of money to upkeep. And if we don't have anybody moving in for taxes, there's no point in doing that. So now that we've done power, zoning, water, we can hit play. I'm going to hold on console the left stick in to speed it up to 3 times speed, to make things happen a little bit faster. But we'll go over to budget, and we can turn the budget down for power and water because we're producing way more than we need. In fact, you know, until people move in, we're producing infinitely more than we need. So let's get some people moving in, and then we can worry about where do we need to run actual power lines to. So these are going to spread just fine, right, from building to building. And if the next building moves in, say here, it'll spread power to that. We don't have to run power lines everywhere. We are going to have to run power lines all the way over here, unfortunately, because they moved in really far away from anywhere that has an active power bubble. But that's all we have to do for power. Everybody else is going to move in next to somebody else that has power, and they basically just run an extension cord over from a neighbor's house. Very friendly, very easygoing here in Swampscott. So we're still in the negative money-wise, and when you're first starting a city, that's kind of terrifying. You're like, oh my god, what did I do wrong? The important thing is that we are progressing towards profit. So if that negative number is getting smaller, like it is right now, negative 838, negative 828, we're trending towards 0, and hopefully that'll happen before we run out of money. And we are growing population right now. So we want to make sure we stay on top of whatever those needs are. We don't want them to get too crazy in demand and out of control. But we don't want to make it totally down to 0 either. Why does this... Oh, we don't have water powered, so let's fix that. We do have to run one more wire, unfortunately. That'll power our water station. We've got some stuff kind of spreading out here. I'm hoping they won't mind too long. Let's see. We didn't zone here, so let's just bring a... Perfect. We'll bring a cord up that way. And we've got some people moving in. We've got our zoning being met very well. But where do we move the next batch of people into? Well, I think it makes sense to move them in up there. And then, of course, we could move them in here behind that commercial pocket, but not right up next to it. So I'm only going to zone those 4. There's a tiny little buffer. Not much, but enough. They'll be fine. We can spread things out more if we want to later on. I didn't look. What is, milestone-wise, the cap for this city? Or not cap, but where we hit the last milestone is at 85,000, which is odd to me for that first one being 380, but that's okay. So we're going to have a lot of people on this map. It is relatively flat. It's got a large amount of buildable space. I want to say it's like 70% buildable. So it certainly gives us room to expand. We'll have to kind of plan out how we connect everything. Right now we do have capacity to, you know, turn this into a highway and, you know, break a little bit of what we've done to make room for an exit here and then continue the highway on. So we'll try not to build on this path, right? That will be the highway. We just got to keep an eye on that. We don't want to have to destroy too much of our city to expand it later. I do want to clean that exit up at some point. I think it's a little funky, but we can make do for now. You can see that we are doing okay money-wise. The first complaint that we'll get is probably going to be not having enough power because we have that budget turned all the way down, but we can turn that back up before we drop in more power plants. It's just going to help us make more money in the meantime. We're almost at that first milestone. Let's go into intersections and prevent that backup that we're getting. We're just going to say, these people that are on this road, I want you to stop. We want to let the traffic kind of flow off the highway, especially for now. And we can stop traffic at any of these side streets and let the cars kind of flow through. We'll do the same thing over here, right? Let the cars that are already coming into the zone or already on this path to leave the zone, let them flow through all the way down to that intersection. And we can stop everybody else. When we come to T intersections like this, we can stop the cross street instead. So that's pretty good start. I think this is going to be a fun map. There we go. One of the things I'm terrible about in the live streams is keeping up with these. So what I wanted to talk about today was some of the basics of starting your city. And then let's go through all these things, because there are some new things in here that we'll want to talk about as we unlock them. Not yet, though. We haven't really unlocked too much in forms of new features, but let's work our way through taxes and loans. So let's pause. We'll go into economy, taxes, And I'm going to set everything to 12%. That's the magic number. It's the sweet spot. Any higher and people complain, any less, and you're just leaving money on the table. Loans, we can take out a loan. We can borrow $20,000 to pay it back at 21, which is totally fine. We could use an influx of cash right now, and that will be handy. If we go back into milestones, the other things that we unlocked were garbage, healthcare, and education. You can do campus areas this early? They must have changed that. I'll have to double check on that. So we got to deal with garbage, healthcare, education. So garbage we can find over here. And there is a new option that we'll have access to later. The waste transfer facility. This is something that's new to Sunset Harbor. It's essentially a storage yard for waste. So where the dump, it just kind of sits there, recycled, turns it into goods. This is letting it sit there to be moved off someplace else later. So it creates 10 pollution and 25 noise pollution. If you look at what the recycling plant does, it does 25 pollution and 10 noise pollution. So even the recycling center, which is much better than the dump at 100 pollution, you know, this is even better. This is going to eventually send it off to a waste processing complex, which is horrible pollution-wise. But it does produce electricity and handles a lot more garbage than any of those other processing plants. So for the time being, recycling is our best bet. And I'm going to throw it... Where am I going to throw it? It'll fit right there. Let's do it. Good enough for now. We'll make space to have kind of our own little separate areas for garbage and things like that, once we kind of plan some more of this out. But that is garbage for now. We'll have the recycling piece. We have healthcare and education to worry about. And for this one, I'm going to go ahead and throw this right on this main street. That's totally fine. The green area kind of tells us what it covers well. And if you have one-way streets or anything that are preventing travel, like, for example, notice that I can't really go too far up that road that is here. Right? Because this is coming off the highway. It's a one-way road coming off the highway. Can't really service that correctly. So you'll notice it also stops as we kind of get onto the highway. But it can cover everybody in town just fine, and that's what we're looking for. So we'll put the health clinic there. Thank you for your service. If you've got any itches, bumps, rashes, regrets, this might be the place to go deal with those. Garbage, healthcare, and education. Education is on the same tab in the console interface. We need elementary school to start, and we can do one of two things. If we have all the DLCs, we have the standard elementary school, which supports 300 students. The community school only supports 250, so it supports less students. It's more expensive. It's more expensive to upkeep as a building by itself, but it uses less water and it uses less electricity. So 160 water, 320 electricity, to the 240 water, 480 electricity. That is cubic meters and kilowatts, I believe. So, you know, it's a toss-up. If you're trying to go green, if you're trying to go more efficient, use less water, less electricity, it costs more money. We're just going to go simple and plain and do an elementary school right here, kind of on this ingress point, Applegate Street, into our residential neighborhood there. And hopefully that will cover everybody that we need for now. Let's go ahead and play it on 3x speed. I think we did garbage, healthcare, education. So we're off to a good start. And we're trying to get to 800 population. We're going to need to build a couple roads to do that, I'm sure, because demand's going to start to creep up. So let's start thinking about kind of where our neighborhood goes from here. So I think it would make sense to bring this 4-lane road kind of over the highway and support a network of neighborhoods over here. So let's just plan for that right now. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to come out snapping options. I'm going to go to the smallest elevation step. I'm going to come out 10 units at one click up. I'm going to come out another 10 units at another click up. And another 10 units, yet another click up. And that gives us this really, really slight slope. Right, so it's not too drastic. You'll notice the power problems that we're having in the background. I can almost guarantee this is going to be a budget-related issue. You can micromanage this if you want. I'm going to do kind of in the middle and just bump it up to 75. We can hold Y or triangle, or go to your info views menu on PC. Looks kind of like that icon in the top left, and see kind of where things are at. So electricity is now good at 75%. Sewage, we need more availability. Man, that plant does not last too long, huh? So let's bring this road. Let's just cram another sewage plant where we can over here for now. Water, can we afford it? Eco water treatment plant. So we'll do this. We're going to make kind of an eco water treatment block, apparently. Can we hook that in so short? I didn't think that we could. So we're going to have to... Let's pause it. Paused? Yeah, we're paused. We're going to break these two pipes. Oh, okay. Or we're going to break that building. All right. So we're going to break those two pipes so that we can hook this in better. I was trying to do this paused, and I didn't pause it again. We need to hook this building up to that. And when we build the next one, we're going to have to do it again. It's going to get messy over here. There's going to be a lot of pollution because we're dumping all this sewer water direct into the ground. We've got a coal power plant over here. We've got a recycling plant. There is a lot of pollution happening right over here in this little nook. So want to make sure not to move residents in too close to that. We're going to go back to our 2-lane road. Come out 12 and stamp out some more neighborhoods down here for at least a couple blocks. Something like that. So that we don't get too comfy and cozy building over here where we want the highway exit to be. I'm actually not going to connect this across. I'm going to leave some space here for us to eventually expand that highway. And that will save us some frustration of having to rip apart all the structure of our city. But this should give us lots and lots of room to expand, which is all we really need right now. So for coming in off this main street, we're going to need it eventually. So let's select, let's go to commercial, and I'm going to go 4 boxes back off the side of the street so that hopefully they kind of build off this road rather than onto these side streets. But we'll mix in a little commercial there. We'll see how our demand is. But we're going to have to do water next over here. Power will spread for quite a while. But water only goes wherever we tell the water to go. At least when it comes to the pipes. Not really in real life. Water does what it wants to do. Ooh, man, we are low on cash. We're down to $11. Can we just hang out here until we can make this pipe? Just so that the end of this street's covered? Okay. This is a challenge too. So I will say something. You know, I get caught building stuff offline sometimes. But the budget is so tight at some points that this is all I can do is sit here and wait. And some people get upset when I do stuff offline. But I have to balance that when I'm doing one of these series, because yeah, people want to see everything, but sometimes everything is really boring, and I want to deliver you something entertaining, informative, educational. I like to talk and just have a conversation. I guess it's kind of a one-sided conversation, but we talk in the chat, we talk in the comments and on the Discord. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord. By the way, links in the description down below. We've reached our 2nd milestone. So maybe let's hold off on this and we'll start the next episode with that, because I could always use more stuff to talk about. But yeah, like I was saying, it's tough sometimes because don't complain about power. Come on, I'm trying to outro here. Economy, electricity, 85%. Shh, don't complain. You've got power. Hopefully it's informative, educational, entertaining, whatever you came here for. That's why I do it, especially now. So we'll try and get back to the regular Monday, Wednesday, Friday routine. Some of those will be live streams. We'll continue this build of Swampscott as a Let's Play. And then there's the Let's Play or Let's Build Live series that's going on, which is using another one of the Sunset Harbor maps. So If you just want more, and come check out those, if you want more of the Let's Play, that will be continuing as well. So hopefully you check out both. But subscribe if you're new, and consider hitting the bell to get notifications for updates in this and other series. Every like, comment, and share helps out so much, and I say it all the time. You're probably getting sick of it, but it really does help, and it really is appreciated. Follow me on Twitter and join the Discord if you want to get involved in the discussion. And if you'd like to support the channel, you can do so via Patreon or right through YouTube, becoming a channel member and clicking that join button. Links to that and all those other things in the comments down below. But from the town of Swampscott for our inaugural episode, that's all for now. Until the next one, why were the power problems? I should have just left it on cinematic camera and dealt with it that way. But anyways, that's all for Swampscott episode 1 for now. I think we're going to have a fun build here, kind of cramming this city into this swampland. Stay tuned for where we go and how we build next. But until then, this is Move the Mouse, signing off.